another live with your host, the Edmund. I am super excited to be here with you today. We're going to be talking about weak men and weak societies. It's going to be a lot of harsh truths in this one, so brace yourself. Buckle up a lot because we're gonna dive deep into a lot of things that are controversial, but it's a conversation that needs to be had for a generation like today. Um, Now, just let me know wherever you're watching us from. It's always a pleasure. It's always an honor to see how far our content goes, and we're able to, make certain changes with that. Now, I want to start by saying that a lot of things will go wrong in our society if men do not lead, if men do not take charge. A lot of things will go wrong, and society cannot progress. Contrary to popular belief, or contrary to what most people would like to believe today, there is a natural order of the universe. There are certain things that you can't compete with. There are certain things that you can't change. There are certain ideologies, and there's a specific structure that has been created for this world and for this time that we live in. And it won't ever be changed. And it's the fact that men must lead in order for society to progress. This has nothing to do against women. It has nothing to it's not going to undermine a woman's ability to be a woman and function in her best capacity. No. But there's a natural order that God created the world through. And men must live in those expectations. I'm not saying they should be abusive. I'm not saying that they should be bossy and be prideful and all of that. None of that. As a matter of fact, what I mean is that we must be responsible, we must be diligent, we must be accountable, and we must be able to protect and look to God as our ultimate source. I want to start with something that most people in the US can relate to or can connect with, which is um, adult entertainment. And I have seen over the past few years how we criticize a lot of these women for their actions and for the things that they indulge in, and for some of the provocative and ignorant things that they say online. And I want to start by saying that some of these women don't change genuinely because they know that even if they said all of that, they can still find someone to take them serious. And that is a weak man. That's number one. Point number one. Point number two is the fact that these individuals and these entities and these organizations won't exist if it wasn't for men. Women are not the problem. Women are not the problem at all. At all. And it's a humbling experience. It's something humbling, but if you really sat to think about this, you would realize that a lot of things that goes on in our society revolve around men. If we want better relationships, men need to be in order. Hello, Edgar. Edgar Chavez, how are you doing? If we want better relationships, men have to be in order. If we want men that are focused on God, men that are spiritual, men that are healthy, men that do not give in to lust and temptation, more strong men, right? And so when I began to look at life and when I began to look at our relationships and communication and began to look at, the bond between men and women, when I began to look at it from a male perspective of leading, a leadership perspective, I understood that a lot of things that are going wrong in our society is because men are not doing the right thing. And what I see a lot is there's a lot of ignorance, right? There's a lot of people that will come online, they'll say something nasty about women, they'll say something nasty about women selling themselves online and stuff, right? And I don't necessarily bash these women. It's not their fault. I don't say it's your fault at all. And the reason why I say that is because the highest number of consumers for porn or for the porn industry, for the adult entertainment, as men. We're contributing to this industry. And so the more we patronize this industry, the more we focus on this industry, the more we spend our time and resources on this industry, the more people will be incentivized to go into such an industry. For example, OnlyFans. The OnlyFans industry is quite interesting. As a matter of fact, I have heard over and over how people say we should ban OnlyFans, we should cancel OnlyFans. And I do want to say something very controversial. OnlyFans should exist. OnlyFans should exist because sometimes, in order for us to see how broken our society is, we need to see how much evil there is in this world. We need to see how much bad things are in this world. And OnlyFans exists because men keep patronizing OnlyFans. These women won't be incentivized to go sell themselves online if they didn't know there was a market, right? OnlyFans exists because of the economic principle of supply and demand, or demand and supply. Not even supply and demand. I call it demand and supply. Hello, Jackie. How are you? I call it demand and supply because there's a demand. There are men that crave to see half naked women online. And the higher numbers of men that have this desire, the more women would be incentivized to go into this industry. I do a lot of snooping around on social media. I do a lot of, checking things online on social media. And I will tell you boldly that there are a lot of women that wish they could do this. Yes, there's a decent number of women that wish they could do something like that and get away with it, or a certain like do something like that, and nobody would realize. And the reason why they think this way is because they see what other women are doing. They see how easy it is to manipulate and to do something like that and make money and just go live their life. And it's like they look at those women and the way they live and the provocative things they say, the very nasty things that they say online. And even with all of that, those women are able to leave and go live beautifully. And sometimes they know, even those that do it knowingly, those that know what they're doing with a lot of strength and confidence, they know that they're going to get someone to spend the rest of their life with, even while they're doing that. So I want to reason with you as you watch this. I want to reason with you, right? It's not bots that are paying for the subscription. It's not bots that are paying for the subscription. It's men that are paying for that. As men are paying for that. Men are paying to see women do certain things. You're paying for a premium subscription. You're paying for a fantasy. Right? And you have no control over your life. You have no control over your urges. You have no control. There's no discipline. No discipline for a generation like we're. And what breaks my heart is the fact that I'm seeing a decent number of young girls who just turned 18. Young girls who just turned 18 and immediately they go set up an OnlyFans account. They don't even blossom to see the possibilities of what life has to offer. All they think about is, man, if I want to make money, I gotta go sell myself because that's what the market is for. Right? And it's not them. They're not the problem. OnlyFans, the reason why OnlyFans is worldwide now and is really established is because of technology. Technology has made all of these things easy and very, you can easily access these things by just a click of a button. You can access this. You can access online intimacy. And the women that don't know any better think that this is the route to go. And they think that this is a route to go because they see how much money these women are making, and these women are not living honorable lives. And they're not living honorable lives because there are men that are encouraging them, incentivizing them to live like that. Can you imagine what would happen to the adult entertainment industry if 80% of men decided to no longer patronize such an industry. If we came to terms with the fact that we are responsible for creating a healthy society, because a lot of men don't understand this, a lot of men don't agree with this, they don't understand this, right? But if a lot of men could agree that, hold on, let me take this off. How do I take this off? If a lot of men could agree that we are responsible for society, we're responsible for the way our world is, we would be more intentional with the things that we do, the things that we say, who we entertain, where our money and our resources and our values go. Right? What kind of world am I going to create for my kids and my generation if I am patronizing women selling themselves online? Would I want to pimp out my daughter? Would I want to encourage my daughter to do something like that? No. In good conscience, no. Someone says, good point. That's how it is in everything, both physical and metaphysical. The duality of complementing good and evil through intention, which is what it is. Solid point. Very solid point. Right? It's also a pride issue, because a lot of men don't want to come to terms with the fact that they're responsible for a lot of the evil that goes on in the world. They don't want to come to terms with the fact that we are responsible for the evil that goes on. What do you think happens when you watch a video of someone, doing an act? What do you think happens when you watch a video of someone doing an act? What do you think happens when you click on a link and then you patronize or you respond to, someone selling themselves online? What do you think happens when you pay for that? You're encouraging them to keep doing more. If there's anything I know about the United States financial system, or if there's anything I know about creating wealth, is that wealth responds to value. So whenever you can create value, you will always find money. Money goes where there are places of value. And so if the porn or the adult entertainment industry is bringing in billions of dollars, if OnlyFans is bringing in millions and billions of dollars, it means that a lot of people's attention and value is in OnlyFans content. And that's tragic. So someone is watching me online, you're probably married, and you've got a couple of links and a couple of people that you're paying to do things for you or paying to watch. How can you live like this? No, it's not normal. It's not normal. And I see what they do. I see the pattern, and what they do is they do dark marketing. A lot of these women have male managers, right? They have male managers, and what the male managers and their content creation team do is that they tell them to do dark marketing. And dark marketing is basically when an individual says something so nasty and something so vile, and you're like, what? Huh? You said that? And then what you want to do is you're curious. You want to know more about this person. You want to know what they do. And so what do? You go click on that link, and that's how they get you. That's how they get you. I'm watching a video of one lady from the UK. I forget her name. I can't bring it off the top of my head. And they're asking her about God or something, and she says the most vile thing ever known to man. I can't even say what she said on here because it's so vile and so nasty. And the crazy part about it is, if she said she was taking a break, or if she said she wanted to find a boyfriend, she would find some decent guy to be with. And that's the problem, is we can't set any standards for anything if we have a growing number of men that are willing to compromise on any and everything. Compromise on no morals, no conscience, no good conscience, no discipline, nothing. Absolutely nothing. How do you grow a society like that? A society of men that are addicts, porn addicts, gambling addicts? What kind of society is this? It's a weak society. We have no morals, we have no principles, no standards, and we're not going to grow. When you talk about this also, it's like, oh, you're doing too much, you're speaking from a place of pride. And it's like, no, you're not speaking from a place of pride. You can tell the end from the beginning. And you know that this is going to be an issue. And it saddens me so much. How could we come to the point in society where a girl just turns 18 years old and quickly she drops a link? And what even hurts the most is most of the people that argue and criticize the OnlyFans movement and talk about these women and all the crazy stuff that they do, they patronize these things. Yeah. Don't believe me? Look for any man. I don't want to say look for any man, but try and talk to some of the men that you know in your life and go on your For You pages and go take a look. Go take a look at some of the things that some of these people are searching for on their Instagram pages, on their TikTok pages, and all of that. You'll be surprised. You'll be surprised. I call it the soft porn epidemic, right? Because everything that we see incentivizes us to be sexual. Even in our relationships are skewed. We can't even have conversations without kissing and touching someone. We can't talk. We can't talk about principles. We can't talk about values. We don't build any friendship. So people get married and they think, oh, it's all about, and they get there and they're, it's the exact opposite. You sit in your home, you invite someone to come over, and you're watching Netflix, and everything you're watching is supposed to get you to that point. I've been there before. Everything is supposed to get you to that point. Weak. Weak. Absolutely. Human beings in this first world experience discovering the meaning and purpose of our existence. All cultures have a universal language, love. What are you trying to say? I don't know. I don't get your point. Human beings in this, I don't get your point. Let me know what you're talking about. I'm not understanding your point exactly. Principle, 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 standards, standards. What are we going to look for on those interesting websites? What are you looking for? What kind of fulfillment and pleasure are you looking for that you can't create in your day-to-day life? If I need to go hide somewhere to do something, chances are high that what I'm doing is probably not good. Not good for me, not good for the people that love me, not good for the people that are closest to me. It's time for us to make a change. We need to make a switch. We need to move over. Because the way we're living is not good. That inner and outer harmony depends on respecting the will of others and understanding ourselves as imperfect beings on the path to perfection. Beautiful, beautifully said. Beautifully said. Beautifully said. No, I want a generation of men that don't pride themselves in leading, but pride themselves in being principled, right? Being principled. So we have distractions and we have things that we're focused on. Do we go the path of distractions, or do we turn our attention to the things that are important and necessary for us? Do we turn our attention and our time, our energy, our resources to the things that destroy our soul? Or do we turn our attention, time, and focus and resources to building society in a way that leaves impact? No, we can never get tired of talking about situations like this. We can never get tired of talking about topics like this because this issue didn't start today and it's only getting worse. Especially when you have a generation of influencers and creators that encourage such behavior. Who's losing in the end? You. Your soul's losing. Your confidence is losing. Anxiety is raging and crushing your mind. Not me. Not me. Right? So what's our plan of action moving forward? How are we planning to move forward from such a situation? Come to terms with who you are. If you need help, ask for help. Seek counsel. A lot of our theologies and our ideologies for living is skewed. There are people that think that you can watch, crazy things online and once you get married, it goes away. It doesn't go away. As a matter of fact, it only gets worse. It only gets worse. It only gets worse. How can you lead a family? How can you lead an organization if the things that destroy your soul are more predominant than the things that are actually helping you become a better individual? So that's a very good question. That's a very good question. An individual can never give more than they are. In the multitude of counselors, there is absolutely. In the multitude of counselors, there is wisdom. Absolutely. An individual can never give more than they are. Very deep statement. I've had to go through a lot of humbling moments in my life where I had to face the man in the mirror and say, I do not like who you are. I do not like this. I hate the fact that I support this, and this needs to end. And you know what? I was humble enough to admit that something was wrong, that change was necessary, change was needed. I had to let go of my pride. There's nothing more painful in this conversation, in this context, there's nothing more painful than an individual, than a man who is struggling and is still prideful. What are you saving your pride for? You're dying on the inside. And you won't accept change. You won't come to the negotiation table and make life changes. You won't do it. You won't do it because you like the pleasure that you're indulging in, but you know it's destroying you. You see it destroying you, but you're too prideful to admit to yourself that this is not good for you and you need to make changes. You need to cut the social media time off. You need to unfollow certain people. You need to stop going to certain places. You won't do that change. But life is supposed to automatically change for you. The audacity to even think that. No, the message wasn't supposed to be contentious. The message is an eye-opener to what's really important for our time and our generation. As always, I say, if you can receive a message in good faith, reflect on it, talk to yourself about it, and decide, you can see changes. You can see certain life changes happen afterwards. And that is my message for you today. On this special day, no lovey-dovey stuff. We're talking about the things that are actually important to you, to our generation, and to your soul. As an individual, what is important to your soul? That's important to yourself. So I'll leave you with this message. In good faith, receive this message. Think about it, reflect on it, and let's begin to make decisions. Let's step into a new era of discipline, of crushing that self-pleasing desire. And let's do what is right for us, for our family, for our soul, and for generations to come. All right. This is Impactainment Studios. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe. We're done with the live stream. If anyone has any questions, I'll hop on real quick. I'll answer some questions. Otherwise, it's been a pleasure. Absolutely. 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 If you're just hopping on and you haven't subscribed to the channel, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel. We are on our way to, you already know the number, 1,000 subs. Quite an interesting journey we've had, but it's been really great. God has been faithful, and I'm sure we're gonna hit that very soon. So if you're not subscribed, please go subscribe to the channel. And this video will be up soon, and you can watch it again. You can take some notes, you can reflect on it, and we'll be back again sometime today and sometime tomorrow for another live stream. So make sure your notifications are on. This is Edmund, and I'll see you soon. Peace.